Welcome to another episode of Solutionaries. I'm your host, Michael DiMartino, and back from the Southwest, where I endured freezing temperatures, 15,000-foot mountain passes, vortexes in Sedona, wild animals, and many other things to be back here in Nirvana City, California, where I live a lot of the time. So welcome to the show. And I'm really happy and honored to be here today talking with a fellow solutionarian. She's down in the Los Angeles area. And she has so many dimensions of work she does and service and connection and creativity. We'll have some time to get into that, but I do want to welcome to the show today, Ellcee Love, and we're going to talk about her UnitedEarth campaign. So welcome.
Thank you so much. Yes, I'm Ellcee Love, and you can find me on social medias that way. I am a creative solutionary, and my intention is to, awaken as many as possible to illuminate heaven on earth so that everybody has a home to come home to.
Great. And I will say it's amazing the few times I had the honor to visit you. And then one time we hosted a small gathering of people there to kind of focus on a project we were doing last year. Unfortunately, we had to postpone it just because of the huge rolling out of the mandates and other things, the Earthstock Festival here in Nevada City. But nonetheless, there's so many dynamic things happening. So anytime I've come to your house, I liken you to a tree with all these leaves of people and devotees and people who collaborate with you and, are connected to all the different aspects of your work. So I also know that you have an active CBD company called Regeneration CBD, yes. Regeneration, fantastic. So we'll get into a little bit of all of that, but let's kind of bring people, let's give them the human / spiritual picture of who Ellcee Love is and maybe some of your background. I know you're very involved in the Burning Man community, and just so people can get to know a little more about you before we dive into what you're doing.
So for many, many, many years, I was a top sales rep for a merchant services company. And, I did very, very well in that space. And then I got invited to go to Burning Man. And throughout my whole life, I've always cared deeply, deeply, overly so maybe, to help our planet and earth and animals. And when I see people in need, I do everything I can to help that space. So then when I went to Burning Man, I promptly left my career and really turned myself over to just being in faith and of service. And I have been blessed to be able to hold that space and provide a lot of resources to people. I started the UnitedEarth campaign through connections to Burning Man and learning about information about where our planet is. And that drove me to find a solution to help, us to not take that path of destruction, really. I am a 7-year burner. After my first year of Burning Man, I completely fell in love, and then I co-ran Trifecta, which is a 269-person Burning Man camp. So we were, I believe, in 2016, the biggest camp on Playa. We have big art cars, everything, and I loved that. After I came out of that, then that's when CBD came to me, and I watched this amazing molecule, and I grew, my passion for it grew as my knowledge for it grew, and seeing the effects of this very healthy, molecule being able to just naturally bring people into great states of health. So that became a passion as well. And I have now Wellness Warriors. I have a nonprofit because I do my best to give tents to homeless people, and I bring them into my home, and I do my best to stay focused on self-love and passing that forward as well to other people. So,
and you do a great job with that. The couple of times I've been there, it was like, oh, it's 10:10 or it's 2:22. You have these daily meditations that you do, and everyone really dropped in. So, I mean, you're such a creative creatress, and you work with so many forms. And what I really love, a big part of the whole regenerative movement, that you're really coming from a heart-centered and spiritual perspective. There's many different ways people do things, whether it's alternative energy and technology or agriculture, and not that their heart's not into it, but I will say that your presence goes far beyond the limitations of your physical body in your home, and I know you touch and affect a lot of people's lives there in Southern California in the Burning Man community, and even beyond that. So, really happy to have this time with you today, just to kind of be able to really showcase what you're doing. So you have the Wellness Warriors, which is your nonprofit. You have Regeneration, which is your CBD company, and you have the UnitedEarth campaign. So tell us a little bit about each, and how do these kind of symbiotically work together to help bring you closer to your mission?
So the UnitedEarth campaign is huge. It's a solutionary based platform that I don't believe is overwhelming to people, and with the intention of being able to talk to Middle America. Because here in LA, we're blessed to live with a lot of people that are already in the conscious space, and we don't watch the news, and we're not paying attention to the negative things. However, with that also comes, we're also not as informed with what's happening in the world, because we've so checked out of paying attention to what's happening outside of our circles. So this campaign allows space where it gives 4 simple steps, and just to go over them very briefly. First, it talks a little bit about what's happening in the world without scaring people. But be aware that, our Earth is speaking very loudly to us about the trauma that she is in. And for us to continue being here, we do get to make changes. So it's 4 things. The first is for everybody for just 1 week. And the whole concept of it is, to step back, the whole concept of it is for us to do the same thing at one time, so that our energy is together. It's a united energy at the same time every month. So for the 1st through the 7th of each month, please don't buy any meat. You speak with your dollar. And right now our agriculture is absolutely destroying our earth. So for 1 week, no meat. It also gives our body the space to take a break from that energy that we're putting into us. So with no judgment whatsoever, just for 1 week, don't buy any meat. Don't buy or eat meat. The second thing is no plastic water bottles. If you're thirsty at the gas station, just hold off. Buy a reusable water bottle. Buy them for your kids, buy them for your husband, gift them to people. But our oceans are being just consumed with our plastics, and our fish are eating that, and we're eating our fish. The third thing is for 11/11, if you set a reminder on your phone, and on 11/11, just take 1 moment and stop and think love, health, and gratitude to all. It doesn't need to be complicated. Just take a moment out, and doing that at the same time is a collective energy, and you're power pushing that information to our universe, saying, hey, we're paying attention. Slow down, give us a minute. We're going to fix this. The fourth thing is to stop watching the news for 1 week. For 1 week, just turn off that news. Now, one of my friends, who is one of the biggest marketing people out there, has told me that people can't handle this. 4 things is way too many, that people can only handle 1 thing. I believe our earth is screaming out to us, and I have faith that people can get it together and do 4 things, or as much as they can, but at least be in the flow of making that effort. I want this will become an elementary school project, because I want to get into the kids. Once the kids realize the impact of not eating meat for 1 week, what does that do to the animals? How did they react? What did that do to the earth? How quickly did she regenerate herself? What does that do to our bodies and our economy? Once we see the power of what our dollar holds and what we hold, and when we work together in a space, look out, there will be nothing that can stop us. So that's my UnitedEarth campaign. I go into a little bit further when I speak, and I talk about the pigs, and like there is a bit more to it.
Is there a website that people can check out to get
Yeah.
more information or?
Yes. So I don't have a website, but if you have Facebook, if you go to Facebook and you go to United Earth Campaign, and it's AKA the marshmallow effect. To give a very brief of why is it the marshmallow effect, because if anybody has seen Ghostbusters, and at the end of the Ghostbusters movie, there's a giant Pillsbury Dough marshmallow guy, and all hell is raining down, and all the people had to do was come together. And I believe they sang Silent Night, and they came together in faith, and like that, all that darkness went away. So I believe wholeheartedly that once we come together, when we unite our energy, that this will change, that we will change the trajectory of this earth right now. And also in the space of Burning Man and you know, how source speaks to me, you know, I was on an art car, to be brief, I was on my art car and my hands were like this, and a cup got knocked over, just a little off kilter, and this marshmallow landed in my hand. And I was like, oh, okay, God, I get to speak about this, because speaking on camera makes me uncomfortable. And I was like, all right. And so we look on the cup, and on the cup is a picture of a unicorn wearing sunglasses. Standing to my right was this man called Todd Wag, Charlie the Unicorn. He's wearing sunglasses at 3 a.m. And I'm like, oh, I got a unicorn, I got a marshmallow. I run across my art car to tell Shane and Dana. Shane is a Top Gun pilot. Everybody involved in this story is a highly educated people. So I run over to tell Shane that these things just happened. And as I ran over to Shane, they were singing the Ghostbusters song. And the camp that I ran that year was Trifecta. So I got my trifecta. So I have faith that, you know,
Wow.
I need a proper video made, you know, so it's not just a girl speaking. So it's a video that shows, you know, here's what's happening to the earth, and that's okay. Don't be afraid. Here's solutions, so that it's very not fear based, because once you create fear in somebody, their walls go up and they're not listening anymore. So
Right.
that's
Well, we're hoping to get you to the Regenesis gathering out in Colorado for spring equinox full moon. It's also World Water Day. And of course, you know, we all see what's happening with water right now. And you brought up a really important point. I mean, everything you said, 4 things are too much. It's like, well, what is our quality of life worth? What is the future for our children worth? What is having clean water to drink and clean air? So, you know, I just have to say, I wanted to kind of like push back on that statement a little bit. It's like, well, every day people do hundreds of things,
yes.
fill out contracts, go to work, put gas in their car, go to the store shopping, take care of their kids. So I think one of the strange benefits over the last 2 years of that which should not be named is that people are actually reprioritizing their life and their lifestyle. And a lot of that is, you know, I hear people say, oh, at some point we'll go back to normal. And it's like, well, what is normal? What is the illusion of what normal was for you? What did it mean to you? And as we see what's happening on a global level, I mean, we had the Pacific Tonga volcano a few weeks ago. There was a small tsunami. We've had wildfires. There's droughts. There's so many things happening around the world. It's like, you know, when we start to think about the environment and sustainability, you know, this isn't like some sort of countercultural idea. This is something that will primarily be the foundation of human beings surviving through this great time of earth changes. And I know I even hear a lot of people say, you know, save the earth, save the planet, which is a good and noble cause. I think, you know, a million years from now, I think the earth, regardless of what we do, will be doing all right. But of course, we want to make it a healthy and safe place in our children. We want to live life. We don't want to be deforestation. I mean, 25% of the Amazon is gone right now. We don't want to have to drink toxic water. We don't have to eat things that have plastic in it. And really, again, everything we're talking about, it's like, and especially the 4 things you said, those are so easy to do. And it's just a matter of people looking at their priorities and changing their lifestyle a little bit. Or as you said, Mother Nature's going to come in and change a lot of stuff. And it might not be pretty or comfortable or warm and fluffy for everyone. There might be some real heavy shit coming down. So, yeah.
Well, and that's the thing is for 1 week, then that is 25% of our time. That's 25% less impact that we can have on this earth. And if coronavirus taught us anything, in day one, the ozone layer over Australia repaired herself. Like Mother Earth will be just fine. Will we? Is really, how much do we want to continue living on this earth? And the reason part of it, why I say that, this marketing person challenged and said, no, people can't do four things. It's good for them to hear that they've been told, that I've been told that they can't do four things, because a lot of people like a challenge. And now it caught their attention and they're going to come back and go, wait, what were those four things? I can do that. Tell me I can't do that. Great. Whatever touches that person to light that flame, to get their attention, to go, wait a minute, there are some things going on here I get to be involved in, and also it's important for people to be a part of something, so people feel connected, and now they feel like, wow, I'm this girl just here in this home, but I'm making a difference, and your friends can make this difference and your kids can make a difference, and we're all here to do it together. So by the grace God.
Absolutely. Well, I was called the other day, someone called me an apocalyptimist. We know there's some level of apocalypse going on, but I remain positively optimistic that we can do it. We can get through this. And it is interesting because
Yes.
years ago I was working with a friend of
I
mine.
live in a world where I look around and there's masks.
Absolutely. Well, I think we all know that we're bridging from the old paradigm. We're going through some turbulence, but we're coming out to a whole, some people call it New Earth, Utopia, Shambhala, Shangri-La, New Jerusalem, Zion. There's so many names for this. So, it's in so many cultures and traditions and mythology and spiritual teachings and, the second coming or Maitreya Buddha and Kalki Buddha in Hinduism. And I mean, there's so many things about, we are the people and now is the time. So, it even, for me, it's even like, are you part of the problem or are you part of the solution? So, it's impossible to be on the planet without having some sort of footprint, but nonetheless, if we can balance that by solutions. So with my friend Bob Saunders, we did a 2-year water protector tour, not directly related to Dapple and Standing Rock, but inspired from it. And we traveled throughout our watershed here from Mount Shasta, which is revered as the crown chakra of California in many ways, to the Sacramento River Delta and the San Francisco Bay. And people are like, I'm too busy to be a water protector. And I love what you said, because what you have to do is you have to spoon feed people and give them very simple steps. So we said, well, actually you can be. It starts with our cosmetic products of whatever you use, shampoo, soaps, like make sure it's biodegradable, make sure it's non-toxic. Then, look at your home, your cleaning products. What do you use in your home to do certain things? And not only that it impacts the environment, it impacts your children, your family, your health. Who doesn't want healthy children? And then we look at our yards. Okay, our yards, our landscaping. Are we using Roundup? Are we using pesticides, insecticides, herbicides, all of these things? So it's like, okay, well, we can take responsibility there. That's something anybody can do. And like you said, stop buying plastic. Microplastics are killing. There's actually dead spots in the ocean where fish and nothing can survive. It's decimating the coral reefs that help regenerate oceans. And then on top of that, if you really have extra time on your hands and you're really passionate and an apocalyptimist, you can become an advocate or a activist, and you can actually go out into your community and take on some of these large issues. So that there's really, I'm kind of calling people out these days. There's really no excuse for you to not contribute to being a solutionary at this time of human history and immense change.
Yes. That's why with the campaign, when I'm talking, I remind people throughout the whole thing is get excited.
So any other words you want to share about your nonprofit, Wellness Warriors? I think that's a great name.
Yeah.
And UnitedEarth campaign, and also your CBD company.
Yeah, so we went over UnitedEarth campaign, and again, that's on Facebook. Our Wellness Warriors, a nonprofit, is also on Facebook. And Regeneration CBD, we had a beautiful page on Facebook. I had like 60, 70 reviews of truly miraculous things, and Facebook took us down. So it's interesting what the government's doing with it. I'm not going to get into all of that, but you can private message me on, I'm Ellcee Love. So it's ELLCEELOVE and Facebook, and that's my primary social media that I work off of. There is a Regeneration CBD Instagram, but the other platforms are on Facebook right now. And, you know, this is all I'm doing. So I'm always reachable. I'm also an energy worker. So I work with In Harmony. It's vibroacoustic sound technology. And it vibrates literally frequencies of love throughout the house and the property. I can tell you the bees have hived in our home, which I take as a very, very, very great sign. I'm always like, no matter how bad the day is, the bees are here, and I can take my head and put it on my bathroom wall, and I can listen to they hived inside of our home. So, and they are proper honey bees. Mm-hmm. Yes. So
Fascinating.
yeah.
You're a nectar connector now too.
Yes. Thank you, Jesus. So yeah, I just, I'm a hub also, if somebody is in LA, as you know, Michael, if somebody's in LA and they need a place to stay, I love engaging with people, and especially in the conscious environment. Yeah, of course. So if anybody needs a place to stay or needs anything, just call me.
Well, you are truly a divine and multidimensional being, and I'm greatly honored to know you and to get to share space with you. And absolutely. So we will continue to have discourse offline at some point. I am a media person. I think the UnitedEarth campaign does need, like you say, something proper. And we'll see what happens, because that could easily happen. But as you know, it's just a matter of scheduling and stuff. So we'll just continue with the Earthstock Foundation to kind of lean in. And what's become obvious over the last couple of years is with the foundation is like, just helping to enhance connectivity and synergy between people that are doing amazing work. And we're finding out that that's more than a full-time job alone. Plus Rachel Tice, who's in Los Angeles, and we're going to be doing a small Earth Day event and broadcast, but she's working on putting together the source directory, which we have here for Northern California, as a way to find people and individuals and organizations like yourself in the LA area, because there's really no, someone called it the Golden Rolodex. Where's the Golden Rolodex at? So that's a project we're working on, but we will stay in touch, and much love and appreciation for you for, holding the light there in Los Angeles area and all the work that you do. And hopefully we'll get to be sharing some resonance in physical space soon. So I really appreciate your time. And if you would like to leave us with any other words of wisdom or spontaneous divine inspirations, poems, dance performances,
Well,
feel free.
I did used to dance every Saturday at 419 for rain. That got a little weird, but I would invite everybody, if you can take in your notes, at 10:10 in the morning, at 3:33 in the afternoon, and at 9:09 at night, I do a United Manifestation meditation. So just take a moment, you breathe, take 3 deep breaths, and then, give gratitude. Visualize your life for a moment the way you want it to be. Visualize you doing this meditation in your most perfect place, and then hold yourself empty to let God, source, whatever your higher power is, speak to you. I do this with the Devi prayer, DEVI, and it's 22 minutes. And it's just honoring, source. So yeah, it would be great, because our collective energy is our most powerful space. So blessed be to all. Be kind.
Bam. All right. Well, great to have this time with you, and we will talk soon. and many blessings. And thanks everyone for tuning into another action-packed episode of Solutionaries. You can do it. We're the ones we're waiting for.